Welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety with the City of Novi. And we're very fortunate to have Fire Marshal Kevin Pierce joining us today on Behind the Badge. Fire Marshal, welcome.
Chief, how you doing today?
Good. Why don't you start out by telling us, you're relatively new to your position.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your background, your experience, and the training that you had to go through to become the Fire Marshal here in Novi.
Well, I'm a graduate of Wall Lake Western High School. I became a paid-on-call firefighter in 1997. I got a full-time job as a fire protection officer in 2000.
Outstanding.
And then from there, I was able to test for the position of fire marshal, and I got that in December of last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And as part of that, you go through an extensive amount of training. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about some of the background training that you have to go through? Because it's a lot more extensive when we're talking about looking at plans and systems and determining flow rates and things like that.
What I went through is NFPA Inspector 1 and 2 and Plans Examiner. I was able to acquire that back in 2015. Went through the process of being able to read a set of plans, look at a site plan, for instance, and just figure out where the hydrants are supposed to be located, turning radiuses for the apparatus and stuff like that. The fire protection systems I look at, they deal with the sprinkler systems, fire alarm systems. So we have a lot of flow calculations, and then voltage loss. We got to make sure that they are on battery backup. So we got to make sure the batteries are okay for sort of timing matter.
And a lot of what you deal with, and although you're a fire marshal, a lot of what you deal with is encouraging economic development. New businesses want to come here, but yet new businesses want to get in at a certain time frame. So how does that impact your day-to-day operation?
Sometimes it makes my day-to-day operation a little challenging. One thing I try to do is I try to get their inspections and testing done as quick as possible. A lot of times some of the businesses will allow me to just be able to show up during the day instead of scheduling it, which allows me to come in earlier than having a set scheduled time. So I'd be able to work very well with the general contractors and them to be able to get that stuff done for them.
You also work very closely with our community development department, with our mechanical, electrical inspectors, and how does that impact your day-to-day?
That is we got a very good community development department over there. I work side by side with those gentlemen and ladies all day in and day out. They are phenomenal people, because if I have a question that I can't answer or cannot find, I know where I can contact somebody over there to help me find what I need.
Excellent. And one of the things that we see, particularly coming up now as we get into the spring season, many people like to grill out.
Yes, they do.
And that can be a difficult time, because in previous years we've had some pretty good residential structure fires as a result of grills being too close. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about some of the safety precautions that they have to take?
Yeah, grills should actually be put on non-combustible surfaces. It's very important that they understand that grease does not always get into the grease traps of your gas grills. It does get down and get on the wood surfaces, and of course it could start a fire at that point in time. In multifamily structures, we really want them on non-combustible surfaces because of that issue and the life loss it could possibly engender there.
And if you're going to grill at home and you have a patio, keep that grill as far away from the home as possible.
Yeah, we'd like to see about 10 to 15 feet away from the house. I know a lot of people don't do that, but it is for the safety of their own house and everybody in their house to keep it away as far as they can.
Why don't you share with the viewing audience a little bit about maybe a day in the life of a fire marshal and the various things that you do, because it's not just going out and doing inspections, but you also get a stack of plans about this high of either buildings that are going to be renovated or new buildings under construction.
Basically, my day starts out in the morning where I come in, I get all my phone messages, and we go through and I check the phone messages, because people want to schedule their inspections and testings for that. Then I start going through, and I may have to search codes, because it may require me, if I don't know the code off the top of my head, to look at a set of plans to get into the code books and read them. If I can't find it in the code books, that's when I start talking to the building department. I can actually reach out to other fire marshals in the area too. They've actually helped me out a couple times.
Excellent. What do you think the biggest challenges has been thus far, and what do you see the biggest challenging moving forward for Novi being?
Just making sure we get more businesses coming in. We enjoy the business coming in. We work with them as much as possible to get them in as quick as possible, but also to get in as safe as possible. They make sure that no codes are being violated. That's the biggest portion.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're going to take a real quick break, and for you, the viewing audience, please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I'm Fire Protection Officer Pat Deneau with the Novi Fire Department, here with you today to talk to you about smoke alarms. In 30 seconds, a small flame can turn into a major house fire. The smoke and toxic gases from a house fire kill more people than the actual flames themselves. Please make sure you have a working smoke alarm on every level of your home, preferably in your sleeping quarters or bedrooms, and make sure to check them monthly. We recommend that you change your smoke alarms every 10 years. And remember, fire is everyone's fight. The Novi Fire Department wants everyone to be safe. And don't forget, when it comes to smoke alarms, don't wait, check the date. One of the many services the City of Novi provides is the installation of working smoke alarms. If you don't have a working smoke alarm in your home, please give a call to any one of our 4 fire stations or the Fire Marshal's office. We'll make sure to send out a crew of certified firefighters to come out and install a working smoke detector in your home.
Welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, and I'm still proud to have Fire Marshal Kevin Pierce joining us on set. Kevin, one of the, I think, the big successes and probably something that's a little unique about our organization is that we have all of our full-time fire protection officers. They are actually out doing inspections throughout the community on a daily basis. Can you tell the viewing audience a little bit about how that might be different than how they do it in other communities?
Well, we have company inspectors. Our FPOs go out and they do annual and biannual inspections. They go out every business in the city. Annual inspections are done, of course, annually, and then we have a biannual circuit that we do every other year. We try to hit every occupancy that has an assembly every year due to the fact that it is assembly and it has a large amount of people involved in it. Our biannuals are a lot of your businesses, manufacturing, stuff like that.
And we try to hit those during, so we'll do a lot of the schools while they're on breaks. And then we'll do like 12 Oaks Mall. We try to get most of those done in the early winter so we're not inconveniencing businesses, and we work with the business owners.
Yes, the one thing we try to do all the time is be able to work with our business owners. If for some reason that they cannot do an inspection at that point in time we show up, we will come back at a time that is beneficial to them. We don't like forcing them to do any type of inspection if they're not ready for it. We do send out a pre-inspection letter so they kind of get an idea what we're going to be looking for.
What is some of the value that comes from those inspections, besides the firefighters getting to know the community members, the business leaders in the city of Novi, but it's also a good opportunity for us to get some updated contact information.
We do get updated contact information. One of the best things I think we're getting from that, from being able to go into the business, is floor plans. You know, because floor plans for us, every business, it's very impossible for somebody to go in and know every business, their floor plan. So to get in them and talk to the people, get to see the buildings, that is a huge benefit to ours.
And then we use that as not only a training component, but also a preparedness. So if we find ourselves going to, let's say, a high hazard warehouse or some high hazard industry that we might have an industrial park, our captain on the ground, he has that information, so he knows how to direct the resources for the firefighters going in.
Correct. Well, with high hazards, what we do is we have a hazardous chemical survey that gets filled out, and that gets done every 5 years. And what we do is we enter that into our mobilized plan, and that allows our captains, lieutenants, or whoever is the incident commander, if there's an incident there, be able to pull that floor plan up, find out exactly where the chemicals are located, so they've got an idea versus going in there blind.
Yeah. And that's not only for the safety of our men and women, but also helps us fight that fire as quickly as we can.
That's true. It makes it very easy for us to know where the chemicals are at, and if we can get between the chemicals and the fire to fight the fire, so that now we don't have a very large loss of chemicals, of property, or people.
And some of those high hazard places, they're actually required by law, by public act, to provide us with floor plans to tell us where those chemicals are located, so when the incident commander is directing the resources, those firefighters know where the dangerous stuff is actually at.
That's correct. It's firefighter right to know. We are allowed to know what chemicals are going to be on site, the quantities that are on site, and they also have to have the SDS sheets on site too to allow us, if we come in there, if something's new that they haven't been able to update, we're allowed to get those.
So just for the sake of the viewing audience, how many of those annual and biannual inspections do we do?
Roughly we do about 2,000 annual biennials per year. It differs from year to year. Not only do we do the annual and biennials, we do re-inspections. So if we do find a violation that they can't correct right away, we do allow them 2 weeks and then we come back and just make sure that the violation's been corrected.
And when we talk violation, we're not actually writing them a violation. We're just putting them on notice that perhaps a exit ballast or a door plate or something like that needs to be changed, and then they're good to go.
Correct. The violation is more of a way we keep track of it. It's a piece of paper that we just kind of put notes on. We have to label it somehow. So when we put our violations on our sheet, it's just for us to keep track, because there's too many businesses, and you cannot recall every violation that you write.
Right. A big part of fire prevention is knowing what to have in your home, knowing where to keep chemicals and paints and things like that. Can you talk real briefly about the home fire safety inspection that the department offers free of charge?
Basically what we do is we'll come in, we'll take a look at your smoke detectors first off, because every 10 years smoke detectors are supposed to be replaced. We also check to make sure that you have an extinguisher, talk to people a little bit about escape routes. Big thing for our elderly, we do slip, trip, and fall hazards. A lot of that is to deal with putting rubberized gripping between their rugs on the floor and the smooth floors so that they don't slip on there. We try to let them know to make sure they always take and get the rugs smoothed out. And then a little bit of cooking, not to put certain things in the area of cooking so that it catches fire. And then we also reiterate the stop, drop, and roll with the elderly.
And cooking fires, traditionally, they account for about probably anywhere from 10 to 12% of our annual fire numbers. So anything we can do, and those are free of charge. We're not there to look at your house. No. We're not there we don't share that data with any other departments. Nope. The assessor's not going to know about it, so we're not going to provide feedback. What we're simply trying to do is make your home safer, because many of our fires, candles,
yep,
improperly placed grills, chimneys not being cleaned out, things that are preventable. And
correct,
if it's predictable, it's preventable.
Correct.
Well, Fire Marshal Pierce, thank you for your time today.
Thank you,
we
Chief.
appreciate you sharing your time, appreciate your leadership, everything you've done, and look forward to great things happening in our Fire Prevention Division.
Thank you, Chief.
And to you, the viewing audience, thank you for tuning in to Behind the Badge. And until next time, continue to watch Novi Television.